Good morning, everyone. It is Wellbeing Wednesday. Hope you had a good half term, although you probably couldn't go anywhere and you couldn't really do much. Hopefully you still got to have a little bit of a break and just to rest from all the workload and pressure of school. So today the topic for Wellbeing Wednesday is mental health, and I'm not going to be talking much about mental health because I've done that previously in an assembly, but it's also National Empathy Week. And empathy and mental health kind of tie themselves together. So I thought it's a good opportunity to talk to you about empathy. So what is empathy and why is empathy even important? We hear the word sympathy a lot. You know, it's in our culture. It's kind of in our society. We use it at the end of letters sometimes. Someone will say to you, oh, you're so sympathetic. What is it? And then what is this word empathy that's really kind of goes around a lot, and what is the difference? So there are two very, very different things. And the encouragement is really to try and build empathy, to build an empathetic response, because it looks very different to sympathy. So I'm going to give you a little example so you can kind of see the difference between the two. Right, so picture the scene. You get to school and you see your mate, yeah, and he's not looking good. You can tell that his groove is off. Something is wrong. He's looking tired, angry, he's withdrawn. So you know something's up. So you go up to your mate and you say, what's up? What's happening? And he says to you, actually, things aren't great. My parents had a huge fight last night. There was so much shouting and screaming. My dad kind of stormed out the house. I woke up this morning, he's not back yet, so things are really not great. So you have a choice. You can either reply with sympathy or you can have an empathy response. So sympathy would look like this. Gosh, man, sorry to hear that. That sounds really, really hard. Ooh, that's awful. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad I'm not you because it sounds pretty hard. Sorry about that. I'm sure your dad will be back though, and at least you have a dad. So come on, let's go play football. Let's kind of go do something. Okay, so that's replying with sympathy. So if you were going to have an empathetic response, it would look like this. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds really, really tough. That must be really, really hard for you. It doesn't sound good. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say or what I can do, but I just want to let you know I'm here. So if you want to go play football, or you know, maybe we can play on the computer later this evening. If you want to talk, I'm here. I imagine that's really quite tough for you. But I'm here if you need me, yeah. Let me know what you need. I'm here. And so that's responding with empathy. So empathy doesn't give a solution. It doesn't try and fix things. It just lets someone know that you are with them, that you are listening to them, that they are being held and heard by you. So when we talk about empathy, we use our eyes to kind of view the situation that the other person is going through. We use our ears to try and engage what they've gone through. And we use our feelings to kind of put ourselves in their shoes to understand what it might feel like for them to be in that situation. Empathy gives compassion, connection. It's such an important life skill in life. If you can just learn to be empathetic and offer your presence to someone, just a state of being. And it is like a muscle. It actually can be worked. The more you practice it, the easier it does get. And the fascinating thing with empathy, it goes back to the brain. I'm always talking to you about the importance of the brain because it is important. Empathy actually engages two parts of your brain. There's something called cognitive empathy, and then there's something called effective empathy. So they're two different things, but they work together to create empathy. So cognitive empathy is using your rational part of your thinking brain to stop and think, right, okay, what is the situation here? What are the facts? What is the scenario this person's going through? How can I put myself in their shoes? How can I respond? Yeah? And then this effective empathy, which kind of sits the back of your brain, engages the limbic system, which is where your amygdala sits. It's this emotional response. It's trying to really understand the emotions that the person's going through. So if you use the two together, it can be so effective. Now, here's the brilliant thing about empathy. It doesn't mean you have to agree with the person. You can have a different viewpoint. a different perspective, a different belief, a different moral compass. You could be so different to that human being, but giving empathy doesn't mean you're agreeing with someone. It just means you're making yourself available to let them know that they are valuable and that they are heard. So I really encourage you this week to try and practice your empathetic response. Make yourself available to people and see how it goes. Have a really, really good day, everyone, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye.